First, Clark Gable. Clark Gable wasn't just a star, he was the star. The king of Hollywood wasn't satisfied with mere luxury. He needed a kingdom of his own, one where he could live on his own terms. For Gable, that kingdom was a 20-acre ranch, a sprawling retreat that allowed him to escape the glitz of Hollywood and indulge in his passions. Gable's ranch wasn't just a home, it was a fully functional paradise, custom-built to his specifications. The estate featured a luxurious hunting lodge where he would entertain friends, political figures, and fellow Hollywood elites with extravagant hunting trips and whiskey-fueled nights by the fire. The property was more than just a status symbol. It was a place where Gable could embrace the rugged masculinity that had defined his screen presence. If Gable's ranch was a paradise, his horses lived like royalty. His custom-built stables were not just functional, but meticulously designed for comfort and elegance. The stables featured hand-carved wood paneling, top-tier ventilation systems, and imported flooring, ensuring his prized animals lived in absolute luxury. Few Hollywood stars could claim they had a stable more refined than most people's homes, but for Gable, only the best would do. Never one to wait in line, Gable ensured that his ranch had something few private estates could boast: a personal airstrip. 2. James Stewart. James Stewart, the everyman of Hollywood, had a passion that might surprise his fans: model trains. But this wasn't just a childhood hobby. It was an obsession that turned into an extravagant masterpiece. Stewart amassed a rare collection of antique model trains, some of which were priceless, meticulously crafted from the finest materials. But the real spectacle was his custom-built train set, an engineering marvel that wound its way through his entire estate. Imagine miniature locomotives chugging along hand-laid tracks, passing through detailed landscapes, tiny bridges, and scaled downtowns, all designed to perfection. This wasn't just a pastime, it was a fully immersive experience, a private world where Stewart could escape Hollywood's chaos. For a man known for his calm, grounded demeanor, this lavish train empire was his personal retreat, a reflection of his deep love for nostalgia and craftsmanship. Third, Orson Welles. Orson Welles didn't just revolutionize filmmaking, he also indulged in a level of luxury that rivaled his grand artistic visions. At the heart of his spending was a passion for rare wines and Hollywood memorabilia. His custom-built wine cellar, an underground vault filled with some of the rarest vintage wines, was an enophile's dream. But for Welles, collecting wine wasn't just a hobby. It was a statement of refined taste and indulgence. His extravagance didn't stop there. Deep beneath his home, Welles built a secret vault, not for treasure but for his priceless scripts, film reels, and Hollywood artifacts. He understood the fleeting nature of fame and wanted to preserve his legacy in a way that few stars could. This underground archive was more than a storage space. It was his personal time capsule, safeguarding the work that defined his career. Quartus Errol Flynn. Errol Flynn wasn't just a swashbuckling hero on screen, he lived just as recklessly in real life. Known for his devil-may-care attitude, Flynn spent his fortune on extravagant indulgences that reflected his unapologetic love for adventure and luxury. One of his most infamous purchases was Zaka, a massive luxury yacht that was more than just a vessel. It was a party hub on water. Lavishly furnished and always stocked with champagne, exotic foods, and beautiful guests, the yacht became the scene of some of Hollywood's wildest parties. Flynn often sailed around the Caribbean, hosting legendary, no-holds-barred celebrations that cemented his reputation as Tinseltown's ultimate playboy. Flynn didn't just indulge himself, he pampered his pets too. His most unusual companion was a pet monkey, which wasn't just any pet. It had a wardrobe of custom-made outfits. The sight of Flynn walking around with a tiny, immaculately dressed monkey added to his larger-than-life persona and made him even more of an enigma in Hollywood's elite circles. When he wanted to escape Hollywood's chaos, Flynn retreated to his sprawling private estate in Jamaica. This wasn't just a home. It was a personal paradise, complete with its own private beach, lush gardens, and a full staff to cater to his every need. Cinquiem Gloria Swanson. Gloria Swanson wasn't just a silent film star. She was a symbol of absolute extravagance. At the height of her fame in the 1920s, she spared no expense in creating a life of unmatched glamour. Swanson's most outrageous purchase was her mansion, modeled after the Palace of Versailles. The estate wasn't just grand, it was a statement of power and status. With imported marble, gold-plated fixtures, and hand-painted murals, the home embodied the height of Hollywood excess. Few in Tinseltown could boast a residence so breathtakingly lavish. Swanson's passion for luxury extended to her jaw-dropping wardrobe. Her most famous purchase? A custom-made gold lame dress, so heavy and expensive that it was almost impossible to wear. The sheer extravagance of the piece solidified her image as Hollywood royalty, because what better way to showcase wealth than wearing actual gold? Swanson didn't just surround herself with Hollywood's elite, she also collected exotic animals. Her private zoo housed creatures like peacocks, monkeys, and even a leopard, reflecting her taste for the rare and extraordinary. 6. Joan Crawford, the queen of reinvention and over-the-top luxury. Joan Crawford didn't just live in luxury, she designed her world to perfection. While most stars were content with opulent living rooms or grand ballrooms, Crawford took things to the next level with a custom-built all-chrome kitchen. Every surface gleamed with polished metal, from countertops to cabinets, creating a space that looked more like a futuristic art installation than a functional kitchen. It was an obsessive display of perfection, ensuring that even the room where food was prepared reflected her glamorous aesthetic. If there was one thing Crawford hated, it was imperfection. Even the most private aspects of her life were touched by excess, and nothing proved this more than her monogrammed toilet paper. Yes, Joan Crawford had toilet paper emblazoned with her initials, a bizarre yet telling detail about her need to control every inch of her life, even the ones no one would ever see. While some stars indulged in fine jewelry and sports cars, Crawford's four-legged companions lived better than most people. She owned a fleet of luxury wardrobes for her dogs, complete with tailored outfits for every occasion. But she didn't stop there. Her pets had custom-made beds lined with silk and were fed meals prepared by a personal chef. For Crawford, her pets weren't just companions. They were extensions of her meticulously crafted persona. Said me, Rudolph Valentino. Rudolph Valentino wasn't just Hollywood's first sex symbol. He was a man who turned fantasy into reality. His spending habits were just as grand as his screen presence, reflecting a life of drama, romance, and unapologetic indulgence. While other stars bought mansions, Valentino built a medieval fortress. His estate, Falcon Lair, was designed to look like a castle straight out of legend, complete with turrets, secret passageways, and even a working drawbridge. Perched high in the hills, it was a monument to excess, designed to keep the chaos of Hollywood at bay, while serving as a lavish retreat from reality. Most stars settled for dogs or horses, but Valentino had a pet cheetah. The sight of a Hollywood icon strolling through Los Angeles with an exotic predator on a leash was just as shocking then as it would be today. It was a statement of wealth, power, and rebellion. Valentino's love for extravagance didn't stop at architecture and pets. He was also obsessed with fine jewelry, known for wearing diamond-studded cufflinks and gold-plated cigarette cases, even in casual settings. 8. Douglas Fairbanks. Douglas Fairbanks was more than an actor. He was Hollywood's original action hero, both on and off the screen. His spending habits reflected his larger-than-life persona, creating a world of grandeur, adventure, and athleticism that rivaled any of his blockbuster films. Fairbanks and his wife, Mary Pickford, didn't just buy a home, they created Furr, one of the most famous Beverly Hills estates of all time. The sprawling property featured over 25 rooms, a private theater, and a grand ballroom, making it the ultimate symbol of Hollywood excess. The estate became a gathering place for the industry's elite, where lavish parties lasted until sunrise and A-list guests indulged in every luxury imaginable. Fairbanks didn't just love adventure on screen, he lived for speed in real life. His love for sports cars led him to commission custom-built vehicles, each one designed to match his charismatic, high-energy lifestyle. These weren't just cars. They were handcrafted works of art, built for style, speed, and exclusivity. Few things screamed wealth in the 1920s like a private yacht, and Fairbanks had the best. He often chartered exclusive yacht vacations, sailing to exotic Mediterranean locations with Hollywood's elite. These voyages weren't just about relaxation. They were about proving that Hollywood royalty deserved the finest experiences the world had to offer. 9. Lana Turner. Lana Turner lived in a world of fantasy, where luxury wasn't just a privilege, but a necessity. Her spending habits reflected her desire to create a life as glamorous as the roles she played on screen. Nothing symbolized this more than her heart-shaped swimming pool, a masterpiece lined with gold-plated tiles that shimmered under the Hollywood sun. It wasn't just a pool, it was a statement of indulgence, a reflection of her romanticized view of life and love. Beyond her extravagant home, Turner had a passion for fashion that knew no limits. She didn't just buy clothes, she acquired entire collections from Parisian designers, often without even trying them on. Her wardrobe was filled with handcrafted gowns, custom furs, and elegant accessories, ensuring that she was always the epitome of Hollywood glamour. But her love for luxury extended beyond herself. Her pets also lived like stars. Turner commissioned luxury wardrobes for her dogs, dressing them in tailored outfits fit for Hollywood royalty. Every detail of her life was carefully curated to uphold the illusion of perfection. But beneath the glamour was a woman who understood the fleeting nature of fame. Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin may have been known for playing the lovable tramp, but behind the scenes, his taste for luxury was anything but humble. His custom-built Rolls-Royce was the ultimate symbol of excess, featuring a hidden cigar compartment and a built-in bar, ensuring he could indulge in style wherever he went. The car wasn't just a mode of transport, it was a rolling statement of wealth and prestige, a stark contrast to the working-class characters he portrayed on screen. Chaplin didn't just own luxury, he shared it. He was famous for throwing extravagant parties at his Beverly Hills mansion, where Hollywood's elite gathered for nights of live orchestras, imported delicacies, and even fireworks displays. These events weren't just social gatherings. They were spectacles of excess, reinforcing his status as one of Hollywood's most powerful figures. But perhaps his most extravagant investment was his private film studio, a project that combined passion with indulgence. Unlike other stars who relied on major studios, Chaplin wanted complete creative control, and he built his own studio with state-of-the-art facilities and the finest production equipment money could buy. On Burr. Rita Hayworth. Rita Hayworth was the embodiment of Hollywood glamour, and her spending habits proved that she wasn't just a star, she was a living fantasy. One of her most outrageous purchases was her martini glass-shaped swimming pool, an architectural marvel that included a diving board shaped like an olive, bringing a touch of classic Hollywood excess to her estate. It was more than just a place to swim. It was a symbol of her charm, elegance, and playful sophistication. Beyond real estate, Hayworth was known for her impeccable sense of style, spending a fortune on designer wardrobes that included one-of-a-kind couture pieces from the world's top fashion houses. Each gown was carefully selected to enhance her mesmerizing screen presence, ensuring she remained the most glamorous woman in any room. But her true passion was jewelry, and her collection was the envy of Hollywood. Among her most prized pieces was a diamond bracelet so valuable that it required its own security detail, proving that she wasn't just collecting accessories, she was acquiring treasures fit for a queen. 12th. Marlene Dietrich. Marlene Dietrich was the epitome of elegance, and her taste for luxury was as bold as her screen presence. Unlike many of her contemporaries, she didn't just wear expensive dresses, she collected them like works of art, each adorned with diamonds, pearls, and intricate embroidery. Her wardrobe wasn't just about fashion, it was about owning pieces that reflected the opulence she embodied. But her most extravagant indulgence was undoubtedly her gold-plated bathtub, imported from Europe, a true testament to her love for grandeur. It wasn't just a functional piece, it was a statement of excess, a place where she could soak in luxury, both literally and figuratively. Dietrich's spending wasn't about fleeting indulgences. It was about curating a life of sophistication and refinement, ensuring that every aspect of her surroundings mirrored the persona she had crafted over decades. 13th. Elizabeth Taylor. Elizabeth Taylor's love for jewels was legendary, but even among her vast collection, the Krupp diamond stood out as one of her most extravagant purchases. Later renamed the Elizabeth Taylor diamond, this nearly 34-carat stone was not just a piece of jewelry. It was a symbol of her larger-than-life persona. But Taylor's passion for precious stones didn't stop there. She also owned La Peregrina pearl, a 16th-century gem that once belonged to Spanish royalty, which she had set into a custom-designed necklace, ensuring that her collection wasn't just valuable, but also historically significant. Beyond jewelry, Taylor spent lavishly on custom-designed homes, each reflecting her taste for opulence and comfort. Her estates weren't just places to live, they were personal sanctuaries, filled with rare art and custom interiors. Her private art collection, consisting of masterpieces from renowned artists, solidified her as not just a collector, but as someone who truly understood and appreciated fine art. 14th. Mae West. Mae West was never one to blend in. She was a woman who demanded attention, and her taste for luxury reflected that. Her home was filled with over-the-top furnishings, none more extravagant than her seashell-shaped sofa with gold trim, a centerpiece that embodied her flair for drama and spectacle. But West's indulgence extended beyond furniture. She was known for commissioning gowns made entirely of gold thread, so heavy they were almost impossible to wear. Yet, she insisted on them, believing that her image as Hollywood's most audacious star required nothing less than the extraordinary. However, her most extravagant purchase was her private train car, an opulent masterpiece outfitted with crystal chandeliers, silk curtains, and even a grand piano. When Mae West traveled, she did so in absolute first-class luxury, ensuring that every journey was as grand as the persona she had spent years perfecting. Her spending wasn't about necessity. It was about maintaining the illusion of endless extravagance, ensuring that even in her private moments, she was living the life of a true Hollywood queen. 15. Howard Hughes. Money was never an issue for Howard Hughes. If he wanted something, he got it. But what set him apart wasn't just his wealth. It was the way he spent it. Hughes didn't just indulge in luxury, he transformed his spending into a spectacle of excess and eccentricity. Hughes's most infamous purchase was the Spruce Goose. This wasn't just an airplane, it was a flying behemoth, a wooden giant built during World War II with the promise of revolutionizing air transport. Costing millions, it was the largest plane ever constructed at the time. But here's the kicker: it only flew once. That single brief flight turned it into one of history's most expensive vanity projects. But Hughes wasn't done pouring his fortune into aviation. He purchased an entire fleet of airplanes, many of which sat idle, collecting dust. The act wasn't about practicality, it was about control, about proving that he could own the very air others only dreamed of flying in. For most, renting a hotel room is about luxury. For Hughes, it was about isolation and dominance. At the height of his paranoia, he didn't just rent a suite, he rented entire floors of hotels, transforming them into self-contained palaces where he could exist away from prying eyes. On Altunja Ava Gardner. Ava Gardner had a taste for elegance that extended far beyond Hollywood's red carpets. She wasn't just known for her beauty and talent. She was known for her impeccable style, spending a fortune on custom-made silk dresses and shoes from Europe's most prestigious designers. Each piece in her wardrobe was meticulously tailored, ensuring she was always a vision of effortless sophistication. But Gardner's most indulgent purchase was her private island retreat in Spain, where she escaped from the chaos of Hollywood. Nestled along the Spanish coastline, this exclusive paradise was her sanctuary, a place where she could live freely, away from the spotlight. Unlike many stars who indulged in excess for the sake of appearance, Gardner's spending reflected her desire for independence and tranquility. 17th. Cary Grant. Cary Grant's image as Hollywood's most debonair leading man wasn't just a persona. It was a lifestyle he upheld with immaculate precision. Every detail of his life was tailored, from his wardrobe to his travel arrangements. His private jet, outfitted with custom leather interiors and a state-of-the-art sound system, ensured that he traveled in absolute comfort and sophistication. Grant's love for luxury didn't stop at air travel. He was also a connoisseur of fine wine, building a lavish wine cellar stocked with some of the world's rarest vintages. His refined taste extended to his wardrobe, where he owned hundreds of custom-tailored suits, each designed to fit him with perfection. While other stars flaunted their wealth in extravagant displays, Grant's spending was quietly opulent, a reflection of a man who understood that true sophistication was in the details. 18. Ginger Rogers. Ginger Rogers exuded glamour both on and off the screen, and her spending reflected her desire to live in a world of elegance and comfort. One of her most indulgent purchases was her custom satin bed linens, embroidered with her initials, ensuring that even her most private moments were touched by luxury. But what truly set her apart was her obsession with mirrors. Her dressing room was lined with full-length mirrors, creating a dazzling space where she could admire every angle of her impeccable style. It wasn't just about vanity, it was about perfection, ensuring she looked flawless before stepping into the spotlight. 19th. Fred Astaire. Fred Astaire's grace extended beyond the dance floor and into his lifestyle, where precision and luxury went hand in hand. His most famous indulgence? Custom-made shoes, designed to his exact specifications. including some with gold-plated soles. These weren't just accessories. They were essential tools of his craft, meticulously crafted for comfort and style. But his passion for perfection wasn't limited to his own wardrobe. Astaire's love for horses led him to build one of the most extravagant racehorse stables in Hollywood, complete with imported marble floors, crystal chandeliers, and heating systems. His horses lived in greater luxury than most people, a testament to his dedication to refinement in every aspect of life. For Astaire, extravagance wasn't about excess, it was about creating a world where every detail was in harmony, just like his perfectly choreographed performances. 20. Viven Lee. Imagine Scarlett O'Hara trading Tara for a Georgian mansion filled with 18th-century French opulence. Viven Lee didn't just collect furniture, she curated a time machine. Her London estate was a shrine to Versailles, packed with Louis XVI commodes, gilt-framed mirrors, and a $3 million canapé upholstered in hand-woven silk. But the pièce de résistance? A 2,000-square-foot mural painted by a single artist over 3 years, depicting sun-drenched gardens and mythological nymphs. Lee would wander the halls in vintage lace, rearranging furniture at midnight like a sleepwalking queen. Her quirkiest habit? Insisting every piece had a story, a provenance so meticulous it could have rivaled a museum's archives. Why? Because to Lee, life was a performance, and her home was the most lavish stage ever built. 21st. Greta Garbo. What do you buy when you've mastered mystery? More mystery. Greta Garbo's spending habits were a masterclass in enigmatic excess. Her 300 antique mirrors, Venetian glass, silvered oak, a 17th-century gilt frame rumored to have survived the French Revolution, lined her walls like portals to other worlds. She'd stare into them for hours, muttering, "Mirrors tell the truth, cameras can't." Then there were her 500 first edition books, half in languages she never learned: Latin, Sanskrit, Old Norse. Why? Because Garbo didn't collect things, she collected secrets. Her hat obsession? A 400-piece archive of custom designs, each crafted to cast her face in shadow. She once told a reporter, "Hats are the soul's first line of defense." Her quirkiest habit? Burning unsent letters in her fireplace, the ashes mingling with the scent of rare books. You think your "Do Not Disturb" sign is dramatic? Garbo's mirrors could outstare your therapist. 22. Jean Harlow. What's more expensive than a platinum blonde? Her laundry bill. Jean Harlow's lifestyle was a sugar-coated fantasy. Her pearl-white Cadillac, chrome so bright it could blind a paparazzo, was just the start. Her bedroom? A snow globe come to life. Silk sheets, mink rugs, and 24-karat gold light fixtures that cast a glow like liquid moonlight. But the real madness? Her lingerie habit. Harlow wore designer silk once, then tossed it in the trash. "Wearing the same thing twice is for peasants," she'd laugh. Her quirkiest touch? A perfume atomizer shaped like a diamond, which she'd spray on her sheets nightly. Why? Because to Harlow, even sleep was a performance. When asked about her excess, she'd shrug, "I'd rather be overdressed than invisible." You think your self-care routine is lavish? Harlow's bubble bath cost more than your car payment. 23rd. Bette Davis. Betty Davis didn't just act. She lived the drama. Her mansion was a Hollywood studio lot, complete with a personal projection room where she'd screen her films at midnight, alone, critiquing every frame. The room reeked of popcorn and ambition. But her true obsession? Her 600 first edition books, including a 1616 Macbeth she'd recite to guests at 3 a.m. "Words are the only weapons sharper than my tongue," she'd sneer. Her quirkiest habit: coloring in her own movie posters with red lipstick. Why? To fix the lighting. Her philosophy? Perfection isn't achieved when there's nothing left to add, but when there's nothing left to remove. When asked about her book collection, she'd reply, "I'll read anything, except my reviews." You think your bookshelf is impressive? Davis's library had a secret door. 24th Jean Tierney. Imagine a 19th century French chateau dropped into the Hollywood Hills, a place where every doorknob gleamed with 24-karat gold and crystal chandeliers dripped like frozen starlight. Jean Tierney's French-inspired mansion was her own private Versailles, a shrine to old-world glamour in the heart of Tinseltown. The estate, rumored to have cost $5 million today, was a labyrinth of marble floors, gilded mirrors, and hand-painted ceilings. Her quirkiest touch? Every door, from the pantry to the ballroom, was fitted with gold-plated knobs engraved with her initials. Guests recall wandering rooms bathed in the glow of 20-foot crystal chandeliers, each worth more than a modern-day sports car. Tierney would host midnight soirees in her silk-draped screening room, chain-smoking Gauloises and reciting Baudelaire. 25th Tyrone Power. Tyrone Power didn't just live, he conquered. His Mediterranean villa was a sun-drenched fantasy. Terracotta tiles, marble floors, and a 10,000-square-foot Olympic-sized pool, where he'd host midnight bacchanals under the Hollywood sign. The estate, designed by architect Paul R. Williams, sprawled over 3 acres and included a horse ranch with Andalusian stallions. Power's quirkiest habit? Riding his favorite steed bareback to the pool, then cannonballing in while still in his riding boots. His villa's centerpiece? A 24-karat gold bar in the living room, where he'd mix martinis for guests like Marlene Dietrich and Errol Flynn. Why? Because Power, the swashbuckler of the Mark of Zorro, lived like a conquistador off-screen too. When asked about his pool, he'd grin, "A man's gotta have a place to drown his sorrows and his enemies." You think your backyard BBQ is wild? Power's pool parties had synchronized diving and flamingo races,